Hello, everyone. We are live on Facebook once again with our prep preview football show. And joining me this week is Jim Benson. Hi, Jim.
How you doing, Joe?
Good, good. And once again, for the third week in a row, we just have one game to talk about, and this one, it's Titans championship time. It's Deer Creek Mackinac is in the 2A title game, and they're facing Maroa-Forsyth.
You know, it should be a really exciting game, Joe. I'm looking forward to covering the Chiefs this week.
Yeah, the two of us will be there in Champaign on Friday, and the Chiefs, you know, they've had quite a run here in the past 3 weeks after that crazy shootout game with Chicago Hope. They've had big wins over Sterling Newman and then Anawan Weathersfield.
You know, it was funny. I remember the night of the pairings came out, and I talked to Job, and he said, you know, the champion has come from the north section like about the last 6 or 7 years in a row, so maybe history is going to keep going on.
Yeah, history is what they've been talking a lot about in Dee-Mack. This is their second title game appearance, their first one since 1987, and they've never won a championship, but they definitely have a team capable this year with that ground game led by Jared Reese.
You know, a couple of us were around in '87 when the Chiefs went to the title game, and I really remember they had a great team that year. They ran into Woodstock Marion, which was just a powerhouse at the time, and they probably should have been up at least one or two classes. So I remember Deer Creek, Mackinac, they kind of thought they were the public school champions that season. Now they're facing another public school, so it really should be a great game.
And you mentioned that Marion was a powerhouse, and then it's kind of a powerhouse here in Maroa. They've got a team that's been to the title game 6 times in the past 10 years, right, and they've won a couple titles, so this is going to be a challenge. They've got a good quarterback and a guy named Tyler Ray. He's throwing for almost 2,300 yards, so they're going to have to play better defense, but they've been playing better defense.
Yeah, experience sometimes helps in these title games. The Maroa kids shouldn't be phased out by it. They've either played in it or probably have gone to games where they play for the state championship, so that'll be an interesting thing to just kind of see how it maybe affects maybe Dee-Mack a little bit more.
But Dee-Mack last week had a real impressive game when they went up to Anawan and Weathersfield. They tight game at halftime, and then they get 3 touchdowns in the third quarter from Preston Lester as kind of the compliment to Jared Reese on offense there. Yeah. And then a big turnover, and then they had a 21-play, 10-minute drive, which was just incredible. They basically gave Weathersfield no chance.
Talk about sealing the game. That really did the deal, didn't it?
It was. They just grounded it out, and it was run after, I think they threw the ball 1 time on that whole series. So quarterback Derek Baker, definitely a capable passing. They've got almost 1,000 yards passing, but they rarely pass the ball, so they make it effective when they do.
Well, good, because I've covered a lot of games this year where there's been a lot of passes, and they take about 3.5 hours, so this will be fun to see.
Should be a quick one. The passing game from Maroa, I've been told, is kind of like a quick strike short, and then they try and run it from there. But they do have a running back in Jackson Nelson, who's also a capable runner, too, so Dee-Mack's going to have to watch out for that as well.
Well, when you get to the state title game, though, you expect to face obviously a quality opponent, and Maroa is a quality, experienced opponent. So Dee-Mack's going to have to bring their A game, and Job knows that. I mean, you don't get to the state title game and thinking somebody's just going to lay down for you.
Exactly. But Dee-Mack with a veteran bunch, almost all upperclassmen, 20 seniors. They're in a prime position to really go out on a historic note for this.
And they went quite a distance last year in the playoffs too. So they have experience. It's just that you get in the big stadium and all that. It's how are the kids going to react to that kind of environment? Are they going to be looking in the stands, or are they going to be concentrating between the lines?
And you think too, the only loss they've had this year was the conference rival and the defending 2A state champions.
Right. So yeah, they're battle tested.
They're battle tested indeed. So like I said, Jim and I will be in Champaign on Friday to cover the game, and all our coverage will be online at Panagraph.com and in Saturday's section. And that's going to do it for our football shows this year. But actually, we're going to have a basketball treat coming up on Facebook Live as Jim and I will start talking about Redbird basketball in the next couple of weeks. Watch for us then. Thanks.